As we are every Monday through Friday at this time. I was trying to get a copy of that. You know, a lot of you were following, and I talked to Johnny this morning, Spezzano, apparently, and he didn't even know it because he hadn't been informed, but Judge Hugh Gilbert had said that he has no valid zoning permit or site plan approval, and therefore he has to close his club, Renaissance Nightclub. That, according to the Watertown Daily Times. Now, apparently the judge's opinion has been filed with the county clerk's office, so hopefully the text of that will be available on News Junkie at some point so we can read it. And you know, a lot of time the devil is in the details, that type of thing. But this is obviously good news for those who, well, for Johnny's neighbor there, the Reverend Schick. I think this is a nice, well, I'm sure there's some glee over this at the paper because they didn't like Johnny because of that phony wedding photo he sent in years ago as an April Fool's prank. And you know, what goes around comes around in the world, and that type of thing. You know, to a certain extent, he was facing problems. I mean, he was going to have to face a hearing from the Liquor Authority on that stabbing incident because that was, you know, quickly, you know, pushed through as far as into a violation and all of that. So, I mean, he had a lot on his plate there. And apparently, according to Johnny this morning, and you know, I think he's a nice guy, and I think he worked hard at setting this place up and tried to do the best he could. And it's not always easy in that business. But he said he thought he was probably down for the count, but I told him not to make a hasty decision, to think it through. But also, he had apparently, originally when the town started after him, and this is where the government can hound you out of business, because the government will keep paying those billable hours no matter what the bill is. But eventually the private citizen may run out, and in any kind of civil proceeding, you know, if you haven't got the ability to sustain a defense or keep legal representation, you don't get no justice. And Johnny apparently couldn't or wouldn't pay his attorney at that time, I think it was Sly, to continue to represent him in these matters. And so he was just like a boat drifting out in the open with no sails, and the sharks got him. And of course, you just don't win those type of battles because the other side's there in court and all of that, and you're done. You're history. So another example of, well, justice goes to those who, you know, can feed the kitty a little bit, in the sense that if you can't afford first-rate legal representation, you're at a severe disadvantage, especially if you have a motivated and well-funded opponent. And you know, I've certainly seen that firsthand and so on. And the biggest thing is, I guess you just got to fight fire with fire and slug it out with these people. But when you're up against the government or you're up against a well-heeled opponent, it's a tough road to hoe. And Johnny certainly found out firsthand that things weren't going to go his way. So he's apparently, according to newspaper accounts, shut down and for lack of a zoning permit, and that's that. So there you go. We'll see what happens. 755. We wish him well. I mean, he's got he put a lot of invested a lot of time, effort, and money in that. And you know, I know there are those in the I can't wait to see you fail crowd who will be tee-heeing over it. But you know, he tried his best, and apparently it hasn't worked out. We'll see what the final result of it is. But good luck to him in whatever he does. 755-1240. Be back with more in a moment.